Welcome back to Debug Diaries. I am Manashu Jadeja, and in this our episode 6 of our Blazor Crash Course, we are going to explore forms validation in the Blazor. Right? So let's jump to the code. Just for the better learning purposes, you guys can move to the 1.5x playing speed. Okay. So let's get started with the forms. So as you guys are already aware about that, forms are, we can say, essential need about our development, we can say. That whenever you guys are developing something, at that time you are defining your registration form, or you are defining some gathering information from the client as well. All, if we talk about the development, forms are the necessary things that we have to development in any kind of project. It is in a, doesn't matter that it is in a small scale project or the big scale project, but there is some part where you guys have to develop the forms. So while developing forms in the Blazor, there is one inbuilt, we can say, components are given by the Blazor, and that is the edit forms. So using the edit forms, you guys can create the forms as well as you can manage the validation and the submit events as well. So let's see the practical demo for the forms. So let me create one component for the product, in which we will what we will do, we will just submit some details about the product and we will print it, right? Okay, so let's provide the component. Okay, yeah. So as I have created this product component, now in which I want to implement the one form. Before creating the form, I have to create one model as well. So let me create one model, and that will be my product model, I can say. So it's a public class, we can say, product. Yeah. Okay, we are getting here, what is this? That product member name cannot be same as the enclosing type. Okay, let me view product model. Then so now we have defined our class here, or we can say our model here. Now we will submit using the form name, price and description, and using one submit method we will just print it, so you guys can get idea about the how forms work in the Blazor. Yeah, so as I have said, there is one edit form component. It is an inbuilt component provided by the Blazor that you guys have to use. Yeah, so as we are already getting these suggestions, now you can see here. Okay, yeah. So what we have to do, that we have one edit form in which we have a data annotation validator. I will explain one by one what is this. That let's, as of now, just forget about this data annotation validator and the validation summary. Right? Let me comment it down. Okay. Okay. So as we have written the some HTML part here, what we are doing in that, we have defined the label, we have taken the input text. If your text is, we can say that if your input field is in a text, that you have to take the input text. If your input field is in a number, then you can take the input number. Yeah, so there are different fields that you guys can take. Yeah, just for the better understanding, you guys can go to the Blazor document as well. So over there you guys are able to get the idea about the more different fields as well. Yeah, so just forget about the validation message. As we have taken the input text, now we have an input number here, same, we have an input text area, right? Similar to the things that we are developing in the React or Angular, we can say, but the now only main purpose is behind is this. Over there, whenever you guys are developing in React or Angular, you have to do the things, or you have to implement the things using the JS, we can say. But whatever things we are developing, you guys are able to see here that we are developing these things using only C#. There is no such a need to write the JS here. Okay, yeah, so we have already defined this. Then now if you guys let me run this project, okay, we are getting some error. What is the error? Product does not exist in the current context. Okay, we have a product model, right? Okay, and here we have a product. So what we have to give our model here that let's me define our product model. Or you cannot give directly like this. What you have to do, that you have to create one instance for the product model, and then you guys are able to give that to model reference, right? So let me create product model. We have a product, alright, and we are creating just blank product, we can say. There is no such a need to give any particular data as of now. Yeah, so it's fine, absolutely fine, as we have already given the model. Just for your reference, as we haven't given the validation or we haven't yet handled the submit event, so we will do that as well one by one. Yeah, so project is getting compiled, and here is our solution. Okay, so we haven't given any routing for this page, so let me give it. Okay, fine, routing is absolutely, it will work fine for us. We have to stop debugging and then we have to run it again for the routing purposes. So let me run it again. Now when I access the product page, okay, we have misspelled. Yeah, done. Yeah, so we are getting this three field. Name is an input text, price is an input number, so you are not able to enter the text in here, or this is the description where you guys can enter the multiple data. Yeah, so fine. So when I click on the submit, there is no such a thing is happening right now, as we don't have any validation at all, as we have disabled it. Yeah, so let me first implement the, you can say, valid submit button. So there will be a different method, that on valid submit or the invalid submit. So when you will define the on valid submit, that means on the valid submission you will get that particular method code. Or if you will define the on invalid submit, then whatever method you have defined in that on invalid, you will get the call on the type of invalid data entered in that particular form. Yeah, so let me define the on valid submit form. Valid form submitted, we can say. Okay, so let me define this method. Okay, private void valid submit method. Fine. Yeah, so now we will get the call here. Now we have to print the data. So what we will do, that let's take a label. In this label we have to print some data. So how we will print it? We take one string, or we can say what we are printing, that submitted data, we can say. That's fine. Now we will print here the submitted data. Now what we have to do here, that let's print some data from the product, as we are getting value from the product. So let's print product dot name, let's print product dot price. This is just for the example purposes. There is no such a management like this in your real life application. At that time you have to do some operations, or you have to do some DB related operations at the time of submit or the invalid submit. And this steps are fine. And once it is printed, what we will do, that we will just clean the product. You can share. Okay. Let me run it project again, and then we will see that we are getting here or not. So we have a product, or let me submit anything like project name is P1, price will be 12, and description will be, let's say, X, Y, and Z. Now let me submit this. So we are not pushing. Okay, as we are forget to initialize this submitted data to this label. Correct, submitted data. Fine. Okay. Let me run it again. Or as we have did the changes in the submitted data, so I think, yeah, auto load will work fine. Yeah, so we are able to see the P1, 12 and XYZ. Now this is like a form is working fine. Now we want to give some validation, as if we are not entering any data and clicking on the submit, still we are able to printing, or still we are able to see the label here. So now we want to give some validation. So if you guys are aware about the model validation, there will be some model validation that you can apply here. Like which kind of model validation? Let me define the required here. Okay, fine. So what will be the happen, that as I have defined the required, so this will be my model validation, that name should be must, that whenever I am submitting form, at that time I have to give the required. If I I have to give the name. If I will not submit the name, at that time it will give me the some validation message, we can say. Yeah, fine. Let me give the about the price. Let's in the price we are defining there are different validations, model validation, or we can say model annotations are able to, you guys are able to add here. For the better purposes, you can move to the document as well. So there will be lots of validations are there, or if you guys are want to create your custom validation, then you are able to do with the iValidator as well. So that we are going to cover in our we can say in the next videos as well, out of this crash course. Yeah, so you guys can, at that time you guys are able to refer that as well. So let me define the, yes, we are able to define the minimum, so let me give you the 10. Fine. Then we have to give the maximum, let me give you maximum like a 50. Yeah, so we have defined the price here, that the minimum should be the 10 and maximum should be the 50. Now let me give the string length here. Okay, let me make it required this both field as well. Now let me give the string length, maximum length we will give, we can say 200. Fine. error message we have to give. So what error message? Length should be less than 200 character. Fine. Or we have to give the error message resources name. Yeah. So let me give the error message resources name description. Fine. Error message resources type. What will be the type? It is a type of string. And then at the minimum length, at least you should have to enter more than 10. We are getting some error. String length does not contain a constructor. That take 5. I think. Let me check what is this error. Let's remove everything and just we will go with this. That string length will be 200 and we can say the maximum length we are defining like a 50. Okay. If we'll enter the more than 50, then it will give us a error. So now that's satisfying. Yeah, so we have given this validation to our particular model, but to reflect this model to our UI, there will be some undefined component that we have to use, that is provided by the Blazor. So let me now uncomment this. Okay. So first will be the data annotation validator. That means whatever annotations validator we have provided to the model, that validation will be we are able to check here. Okay. Afterward, the validation summary, that I want that whatever the validations you guys are giving throughout the model, I want to get it like a summary. So if you guys want to use the validation summary, that's absolutely fine. If you are not want to use, you can remove it as well, right? Along with it, if you guys have a big forms at that time, validation summary is not good fit for that particular form. So what you have to do at that time, that as per the particular input text, you have to give validation message as well. So for that we can use the validation message, and using the for command or using the for element, we can say, or the event method, we are able to bind that particular field. So as for the field, it will also given a validation to us. Okay, now so fine, we have enabled the, we can say, our validation, and we have already given the validation to the product model as well. Now let me rerun the project and we can see how it will work. Okay, so now let's access product. Now when I click on the submit, to I think there is some error, we need to check data annotation validator. Okay, yeah, validation summary, fine. Now let me run it again. So these are the things you guys have to keep in your mind as well, that if there is, it is a case sensitive, the components that you are using are case sensitive. So if you will do some mistake, it will not going to work properly. Yeah, so now when I click on the submit, you guys are able to see that here I am able to see the summary. The name field is required, the field price must be between 10 and 15, the description field is required, right? So now let me enter first the name. The name will be product 2, fine. Now when I click on the submit button, now I am able to see the only 2 errors. The field price must be between 10 and 15. So let me enter the 9 first. Yeah, so still again I am getting the error 10 and 15. Let me enter the 11. This error will be removed. Yeah, fine. The description field is required. So let me give some description. Fine. Now things are working fine. Now we can submit the form. Yeah. So now we are able to see the label here, the product 211 and description. So this was all about the edit forms. I think you guys are clear about that. These are the different validators. For the better purposes or for the practices purposes, you guys can move to the document proper official document about the Blazor, and from over there you guys are able to check which are the different kind of annotations you guys are able to use in your project as well. So this was all about the edit forms. We will meet again. Stay tuned about the next video. Yeah, thank you.